Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. My name is Crashy, and we are no stranger to talking about Mercy on this channel. I'm sure you're all annoyed with it, but I always just want to talk about the things that are the most interesting to me, and as these PTR changes are going on, as I've kind of already told you my thoughts, I want to elaborate a little bit more on that. So I'm not here to tell you that I'm excited that she's gonna be dead and gone and in the trash, because I'm not particularly excited in that way. But I do want to be pretty clear and transparent with the reasoning that I'm excited that Mercy is going to be what I think out of the meta. So, number one, I'm really most excited that she's going to be out of the meta, which to me means out of the meta in terms of what's the most effective tactic available, which is usually what I use as what meta stands for, most effective tactic available. I think she's going to be non-meta because she is an easier hero that pulls less value. And I think that's a good thing, or that's what she should be. That's the reason why they're nerfing her, because she is an easier hero that brings too much value. And actually the ease of use doesn't even matter. She just brings too much value, thus she needs a nerf. So I'm most excited about that because the value she's bringing currently and since the rework has been just phenomenally too high. The reason she's a must pick, again, very objectively, to say any of this, you know, it's pretty objective to understand why, you know, we think she's overpowered and why they're going to give her a nerf. But when you make a change like this, and the reason I'm excited about it is because it's going to help the game a lot. I think the overall quality of matches, the overall quality of fights, and of the flow of the game is going to be much better, but I don't want Mercy to be unviable. Now, being out of the meta, being out of, let's say, the top two most picked healers, does not mean she has to be unviable. Now, you know, at a second glance, not necessarily even a second glance, just being very honest, looking at the Mercy nerfs, I do want to say that half of me feels like they are too strong. That said, this is not me saying that they shouldn't go through with all of these changes. All four of these changes, the reduced time of Valkyrie, the reduced speed of Guardian Angel during Valkyrie, the constant like global cast time of res, and the only one res, not new charge or not a reset of the res. All four of those changes absolutely should go through. But I think they need to do something elsewhere in Mercy's kit to make her a little bit stronger because she's losing so much. Now, it's hard to say what that is, and I think that's why they haven't done that initially. And so we might see an iteration of this upcoming Mercy that changes before it goes live or after it goes live, and that's fine. But I do want to say that I think that the nerfed PTR version of Mercy is a bit too much, but not that they shouldn't do what they're doing, but that they should add on top of it. You know, it's a levy system. There's two sides of a hanging scale, and one side is being weighed a little bit too much and they need to give back to her. So that's what we're here to talk about. What do they give her? If they're taking away so much, and again, I think those takeaways are incredibly fantastic for the game, much better for the flow of the game, and definitely what they need to do. What do they give her? So ultimately, Mercy is, and I'm going to use this term for lack of a better term, she's the heal bot of the game. She is the main healer, and I mean that like, think of other games, you know, she is the healer. What do they give her? Is it a boost to healing? Probably not. That could be pretty ridiculous. But maybe it is to put more focus on the Valkyrie. A lot of the complaints that I've heard have been about Valkyrie now. It's not going to feel like an ultimate. It's not going to do a whole lot. And while on a lot of those fronts I definitely don't agree, I do think they could explore potentially buffing the Valkyrie more. Now, what does that mean? Essentially, the way I view Valkyrie now is, or the way I've always viewed Valkyrie really, it's a swing in momentum. It's a mid-fight, you know, the fight starts, boom, everything's breaking out, Mercy makes the impact in the fight with Valkyrie. The way it happens currently on live is that she pops in double reses, which is way too much impact, way too much momentum swing. And that's great that that's going to be gone. but she can still have a very heavy swing of momentum with a lot of healing and damage boosting. That said, I do have a couple of ideas for how I think we could give a little bit more to Valkyrie without making her too broken, hopefully, and whilst giving Mercy the value that she deserves to be a viable pick. Not necessarily a meta pick, but a viable pick. So my first idea is that we increase the potency of her beams during Valkyrie. And I'm gonna throw out a percentage. This is very rough. I don't truly know a lot of the Mercy numbers. I've never really paid attention. So I'm going to throw out 25% potency. And that's a huge number for me, in my opinion. It might have to be less than that. But again, this is hypothetical anyway, so it doesn't really matter. X percentage, in this case, 25%. So when Valkyrie is popped, Mercy's left click, or primary and alternate fire rather, are increased in potency by 25%. This means chain healing is obviously very strong because you're healing multiple targets rather than one, but you would also be healing them for 25% more than normal. This makes Valkyrie much more viable and much more valuable than the current version, because you're not just flying around chain healing and doing good healing, you're flying around and doing a lot of chain healing, like a ton of healing. The reason I want to say I don't know where that percentage should exactly land is because I want it to land somewhere near Moira level of healing, maybe less. It's hard to say. It would have to be less, because I don't want it to be a Moira ult, and I don't, it's hard to say. It's really just hard to say. That percentage would have to be played around with. Essentially, the thought is this: we need to make Mercy more effective with what her primary role is, and that's damage boosting and healing whilst using Valkyrie. So when Mercy is Valkyring around, she needs to be amazingly effective, and I think a percentage boost on her numbers, simply, or very easy change, would be a very viable way to give back to Mercy. Now, my second idea, and this one is a little funny. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, actually. This could be overpowered. Is in Valkyrie form, primary fire creates a dual beam that chains and is now healing chained and damage boosting chained all in one. This, I think, could be really cool, although I'm not sure, one, how it would look visually, because her staff rotates in a way and creates a beam. Maybe visually, I don't know if that's even a problem. They could find an effect for it, I'm sure. And two, I'm not sure if that's overpowered. I'm really not sure. Chain damage boosting, I think, is very strong in itself. And you make that decision when you're in Valkyrie currently, and so you're flying around, you're allowing people to take damage because you are enabling them to dish out more damage, which could also win you the fight. But chain damage boosting while also healing them could be broken. It's hard to say. That said, again, the overall thought is I don't want Mercy to fall out of viability. I'm totally fine if she falls out of meta. I think she will still have a place in the game, a very strong place in the game, for the sake of saying, but I don't want her to be unviable. So, and I'm not sure that the PTR version of Mercy is unviable. Like I said, the thought is this: the current live version of Mercy is bad for the game. The PTR version of Mercy, as is right now, is 100 times better for the game, and I hope that goes live. I'm worried that the PTR version of Mercy might be unviable, and I wanted to brainstorm some ideas to make her and keep her viable, and maybe even meta. I don't care if she's meta or not meta, I really don't, just as long as she's not objectively overpowered. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Could she do damage and heal boosting? Could she do 25% more heal boosting or damage boosting? Are either one of those viable? Are those numbers too high? I think these are cool ideas to toy around with. I think they're cool thoughts to try to increase the viability of Mercy, especially for a lot of the Mercy players out there that are worried about their hero. And I understand that sentiment. I'm just, again, very relieved that the state of the game is going to improve in quality, in my opinion. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I appreciate you for checking out this video. Please don't leave without leaving a like and subscribe for future content. I appreciate it again, and I'll see you on the next video.
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? the beat take you over, you just